Hey, what's up, guys? So, we have some more leaks to go over regarding The Last of Us Part 1 because, yet again, there was like 3 screenshots that came out, and there was also several gameplay clips that came out. So, yes, we now know what the gameplay is going to be like. And I mean, I talked about this in my last video. I was like, whenever we see gameplay for this game, is it going to come from the form of a leak, or is it actually going to come from Naughty Dog themselves? And we now have our answer because it got leaked out. Now, apparently, people are saying it's the same person that leaked out the stuff from yesterday. That it's the same person from Reddit. So, I mean, I still have no idea who they are. I haven't seen their account or anything. And, I mean, you can't deny, like, it's not like we have bullet points and they're just saying things. Like, we actually have things to look at as far as the gameplay. Like in my last video, I will not show any screenshots or gameplay because I don't want this video taken down, and I also do not want to share those things because I do not like leaks at all. So if you really want to see them, you can look up on Twitter. You can easily find them, but I mainly want to talk about the gameplay that we saw because I have to be objective. Even though I am very excited for this game, we pretty much know now that it's pretty much the same gameplay from the remastered version, except that it just looks a lot better. That obviously is disappointing. Now, I'm not really with a lot of people when they say that, oh, like, this gameplay sucks and now it's not worth the money and I'm not going to buy it anymore. Like, I'm still very excited and I'm playing this game day one. I've always said that when it comes to The Last of Us Part 1's gameplay, as long as it feels like Part 2's gameplay, so whenever I actually am playing the game myself and I have the controller in my hand, as long as when I'm playing it and I'm like, you know what, this feels like Part 2, then I don't really care too much if Joel can't go prone and he can't dodge. And it's pretty much been confirmed that you can't do either of those in this remake because not only was, gameplay and screenshots from like cutscenes leaked out earlier today, but also there was a screenshot from like the controls, and for a circle, which obviously you use to crouch, there's not a toggle, so you can't hold it down to go prone like in part 2. And also on the L1 bumper, you can only hold it to sprint. There's not an option to like tap it to dodge. So unfortunately, we won't be able to dodge or go prone in The Last of Us Part 1. But like I said earlier, this is just my opinion. I don't think that's the end of the world. Like I said, as long as whenever I play it and I'm like, you know what, this feels like Part 2, then I'll be pretty satisfied because, man, like even the gameplay, like this remake looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, it looks just as good as part 2. And they also, whoever this person was on Reddit, they leaked out like a workbench, like how in part 2 with Ellie and Abby, where you can actually see them like fix their guns and stuff. The same thing's gonna happen with Joel. And so I watched that, and like a side-by-side comparison with Ellie doing that in part 2, and it literally looks the exact same. Like the graphical fidelity, like they have reached part 2 and maybe even surpassed it a little bit. I can't fully confirm that until I actually see it myself when I'm playing it. So from a visual standpoint, I mean, like, this is going to be amazing and I can't wait. But yeah, I mean, it just sucks because, the gameplay got leaked out. I don't know. I mean, obviously Sony and Naughty Dog probably have to be crapping themselves right now because, I mean, yet again, more things from Naughty Dog are leaking out. Like, I don't understand why this keeps happening to them. Because they're only Sony's best studio, and, so you would think they have the best, like, security, and it would be, like, pretty much impossible to hack into their servers or whatever. Like, I just don't understand how this keeps happening because it's happening with everything Last of Us related ever since part 2 and Factions 2 and the reveal for the remake, and now the remake's gameplay and screenshots. Like, it's crazy, man. I mean, hopefully Naughty Dog can get this situation figured out before, like, because could you imagine if, like, their new IP or The Last of Us Part 3 were to get leaked out online, like that would just be the worst thing imaginable for them. So hopefully they get those things in check by the time those games are ready to come out. And yeah, I mean, also I want to talk about just my initial impressions from the gameplay that I saw, because there was the first area that I saw, it was shortly after, whenever Ellie and Joel are driving and there's that hunter stopping them in the road and Joel runs him over and then they crash and get ambushed. The first gameplay part that I saw was from that. And I mean, whoever was doing the gameplay, whoever was playing the game absolutely sucks. I mean, I'm just got to be honest. Like, they were literally like 3 feet in front of someone and they just missed them like 4 times in a row. Now, there was thing that I did miss that was very subtle, but you know how in part 2, whenever you're controlling Ellie or Abby and you're like jogging and then you try and go backwards and you're like jogging but you're going backwards at the same time, which that's only in part 2, but that now is in part 1. So that's at least one gameplay animation that has been taken from part 2 and directly been translated to part 1. So I didn't notice that my first time watching it until someone pointed it out on Twitter, and then I went back and watched it and I was like, yeah, I noticed that. But yeah, it just seems like the gameplay is going to be pretty much the same as the remastered, and that any differences that there are, they're going to be very subtle, but as long as it feels like part 2, then I'm okay with it. But I still understand why a lot of people are very upset, because they were expecting like part 2's gameplay and maybe even better than that. So hopefully Sony and Naughty Dog very quickly respond to this and maybe put out their own official gameplay, and maybe it's better. Maybe the leaks that came out, maybe it was like an earlier build of the game and that's not the full product. I don't know. But what do you guys think down below? Let me know your thoughts on if you've seen the leaks for the gameplay. Let me know your thoughts on if you think it looks good. Do you still think it justifies a $70 price tag? Just let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it informative, drop it a like and hit the subscribe button by turning on the post notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. Until next time, guys, take care.